Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read Book 9, Chapter 2, on the origin of Prakriti and Purusa in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Koti Surya Samapramani. Hari Om Tat Sat. Narada said, Lord, I have heard all that you said in brief about the Prakriti Devi. Now describe in detail why the Mula Prakriti, Adya Shakti, the prime force, was created at the beginning before the creation of this world of 5 elements. How did she, being of the nature of the 3 gunas, come to be divided into 5 parts? I desire to hear all this in detail. Now kindly describe their auspicious births, methods of worship, their meditation, their stotras, praises, kavachas, the mystic syllables considered as a preservation like armor, glory and power in detail. Narayana spoke, O Deva Rishi, the Mula Prakriti of the nature of Maya, of Parabrahman, is an eternal entity. The Nabhyo Mandal, time, Kala, the 10 quarters, the universe egg, the Goloka, and lower than this, the Vaikunta Dharma. All are eternal things. Atman and Prakriti are inseparable union with each other as fire and its burning capacity. The moon and her beauty, the lotus and its splendor, the sun and his rays are inseparably united with each other. As the goldsmith cannot prepare golden ornaments without gold, and as the potter cannot make earthen pots without earth, so the Atman cannot do any work. Sorry. So the Atman cannot do any work without the help of this omnipotent Prakriti. The letter Sa indicates Aisyaryam, prosperity. The divine powers, and Kiti denotes strength, and inasmuch as she is bestowed of the above 2, the Mula Prakriti is named Shakti. Bhaga is indicative of knowledge, prosperity, wealth, fame, and inasmuch as Mula Prakriti has all these powers, she is also called Bhagavati, and Atman is always in union with this Bhagavati, who is all powers, so he is called Bhagavan. The Bhagavan is therefore sometimes with form and sometimes he is without form. Note, when Prakriti becomes latent, God is without form. When Prakriti manifests, God is with form. The yogis always think of the luminous form of the formless Bhagavan and declare him to be blissful, Parabrahma, the God. Though he is invincible, the witness of all, omniscient and cause of all, the giver of everything and of every form, yet the Vaisnavas do not say so. The Vaisnavas declare, how can fire, strength and energy come when there is no very strong, energetic person behind it? Therefore, he who shines in the center of this fiery sphere is the Parabrahma. He is the fiery person. He is higher than the highest. He is all will, he is all form, the cause of all causes, and his form is very beautiful. He is young, he looks very peaceful and loved by all. He is the highest, and his blue body shines like new rain clouds. His 2 eyes defy the beauty of the autumn lotuses in the midday. His exquisitely nice rows of teeth put all the series of pearls in the dark background. The peacock's feather is seen on his crown. The garland of malati flowers is suspended from his neck. His nose is exceedingly beautiful. The sweet smile is always seen on his lips. There is no second like him in showing favor to the bhaktas. He wears yellow clothing, as if the burning fire is emanating all round. The flute is seen on both his hands, reaching his knees. His body is decorated all over with jewels. He is the sole refuge of this universe, the Lord of all, omnipotent and omnipresent. No trace of deficiency can be seen in him. He is himself a Siddha, perfect Purusa, and the foremost of all Siddha Purushas. Bestows Siddhis to all. The Vaishnavas meditate always that eternal Shri Krishna, the Deva of the Devas, he takes away fully all the fears of birth, death, old age, and ills and sorrows. The age of Brahma is the twinkling of his eye. That highest self, the Parabrahma, is denominated as Krishna. The word Kris denotes bhakti to Shri Krishna, and the letter Na signifies devotion to his service. So he is the bestower of bhakti and devotion to his service. Again, Kris denotes all, everything, and Na signifies the root. So he who is the root and creator of all, Shri Krishna, when he desired, is the very beginning to create this universe. There was nothing then except Shri Krishna, and at last, impelled by Kala, his own creation, he became ready in his part to do the work of creation. The Lord, who is all willed and divided himself into two parts, his left part becoming female and his right part becoming male. Then that eternal one, who is greatly loving, looked at the female, his left part, the sole receptacle to hold all the contents of love, very lovely to the eyes, and looking like the beautiful lotus. The loins of this woman defy the moon. Her thighs put the plantain trees quite in the background. Her breasts are mistaken for the beautiful bale fruit. Flowers are scattered as her hairs on her head. Her middle part is very slender, very beautiful to behold. Exceedingly lovely appearance, very calm, sweet smile reigning in her lips, sidelong glances with her. Her clothing is purified with fire, all over her body decorated with gems. Her eyes also, like the chakora bird, Greek partridge, began to drink incessantly with joy. The moon beams from the face of Shri Krishna, defying as it were the 10 millions of moons. On her forehead there was the dot of vermilion, red lead. Over that, the dot of white sandal paste, and over that was placed the musk. The fillets of braids of hair on her head are slightly curved. This was decorated with malati garlands. On her neck was splendid the necklace of gems and jewels, as she is always very amorous towards her husband. On looking at her face, it seems that 10 millions of moons have arisen. At once, when she walks, her gait humiliates those of gandhas and elephants in the shade. O Muni, Shri Krishna, the Lord of the rasa dance and the person of taste in the rasa sport, looked askance at her for a while, and then catching hold of her by her hand, went to the rasa mandalam and began to play the rasa sport, the amorous pastime. It seemed then the Lord of amorous pastimes had become incarnate there and had been enjoying the various pleasures of amorous passions and desires, so much that Brahmas one day passed away in that sport. The Father of the universe, then becoming tired, impregnated in an auspicious moment in her womb, who was born of his left portion. The Prakriti Devi was also tired of the embraces of Shri Krishna. So after the intercourse, she began to perspire and breathe frequently. Her perspiration turned into water and deluged the whole universe with water, and her breath turned into air and became the life of all beings. The female that sprung from the left side of Vayu became his wife, and out of their contact originated Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, and Vyana, the 5 sons. These are the 5 vital Vayus of all beings. Besides these, from the womb of the Vayu's wife came out Naga, and the other 4 lower Vayus. The water that came out from perspiration, Varunadeva, became the presiding deity of that, and the female sprung out of the left side of Varunadeva became the wife of Varuna, called Varunani. On the other hand, the Shakti of the nature of knowledge of Shri Krishna remained pregnant for 100 Manvantaras. Her body became effulgent with Brahmateja, the fire of Brahma. Krishna was her life, and she again was dearer to Krishna than his life even. She remained always with Shri Krishna, so much so that she constantly rested on his breast. When 100 Manvantaras passed away, that beautiful one gave birth to a golden egg. That egg was repository of the whole universe. The beloved of Krishna became very sorry to see the egg, and out of anger threw that within the water collected in the universe, in the center of the universe. Seeing this, Shri Krishna raised a great cry and immediately cursed her duly and said, O angry one, O cruel one, when you have forsaken out of anger the son just born of you, I say then that you become from today bereft of any issue. Besides, let all those godly women that will spring out of your parts, they also be deprived of having any issue or sons, and they will remain ever constant in their youth. O Muni, while Krishna was thus cursing, suddenly came out from the tongue of the beloved of Krishna a beautiful daughter of a white color. Her clothings were all white. In her hands they were the lute and book, and all her body was decorated with ornaments made of gems and jewels. She was the presiding deity of the Sastras. Sometime later, the Mula Prakriti, the beloved of Krishna, divided into 2 parts. Out of her left portion came Kamala, and out of her right portion came Radhika. In the meantime, Shri Krishna divided himself into 2 parts. From his right side appeared a form 2-handed, and from the left side appeared a form 4-handed. Then Shri Krishna addressed the goddess speech, holding flute in her hand. O Devi, you follow this 4-handed person as his wife, and then spoke to Radha. O Radhe, you are a sensitive, proud lady. Let you be my wife, so it will do you good. Shri Krishna also told Lakshmi gladly to become the wife of the 4-handed Narayana. Then Narayana, the Lord of the world, took both Lakshmi and Saraswati to the abode of Vaikunta. O Muni, both Lakshmi and Saraswati became issueless, being born of Radha. From the body of Narayana arose his attendants, all 4-handed. They were all equal to him in appearance, in qualifications, in spirit, and in age. On the other hand, from the body of Kamala arose millions of female attendants, all equal to her in form and qualifications. Then arose innumerable gopas, cowherds, from the paws of Shri Krishna. They were all equal to the Lord of Goloka in form, gunas, power, and age. They were all dear to him as if they were his life. From the paws of Radhika came out the Gopa Kanyas, cowherdesses. They were all equal to Radha, and all were her attendants and were sweet-speaking. Their bodies were all decorated with ornaments of jewels, and their youth was constant. They were all issueless, as Shri Krishna had cursed them thus, O best of Brahmanas. On the other hand, suddenly arose Durga, the Maya of Vishnu, the highest self, the eternal, and whose deity was Krishna. Now, Durga was the avatara of Mula Prakriti, not the avatara of Radha, and as Lakshmi, and Saraswati woo. She is Narayani, she is Isani, she is the Shakti of all, and she is the presiding deity of the intelligence of Shri Krishna. From her have come out many of the Devis. She is Mula Prakriti and she is Isvari. No failings or insufficiencies are seen in her. She is the Tejas of the nature of fire, and she is of the nature of the three gunas. Her color is bright like the molten gold. Her lustre looks as if 10 millions of suns have simultaneously arisen. She looks gracious always with sweet smile on her lips. Her hands are 1,000 in number. Various weapons are in all her hands. The clothings of the three-eyed one are bright and purified by fire. She is decorated with ornaments, all of jewels. All the women who are the jewels are sprung from the parts and parts of parts and by the power of her Maya. All the people of the world are enchanted. She bestows all the wealth that a householder wants. She bestows on Krishna's devotees the devotion towards Krishna. Nay, she is the Vaishnavi Shakti of the Vaishnavas. She gives final liberation to those that want such and gives happiness to those that want happiness. She is the Lakshmi of the heavens. As well, she is the Lakshmi of every household. She is the tapas of the ascetics, the beauty of the kingdoms, of the kings, the burning power of fire, the brilliancy of the sun, the tender beauty of the moon, the lovely beauty of the lotus, and the Shakti of Krishna, the highest self. The self, the world, all are powerful by her Shakti. Without her, everything would be a dreary dread mass. O Narada, she is the seed of this tree of world. She is eternal. She is the stay. She is intelligence, fruits, hunger, thirst, mercy, sleep, drowsiness, forgiveness, fortitude, peace, bashfulness, nourishment, contentment, and lustre. The Mula Prakriti, praising Shri Krishna, stood before him. The Lord of Radhika then gave her a throne to sit. O great Muni, at this moment sprang from the navel lotus the four-faced Brahma, with his wife Savitri, an exceedingly beautiful woman. No sooner the four-faced Brahma, the foremost of the Jnanins, fond of asceticism and holding Kamandalu in his hand, came into being than he began to praise Shri Krishna by his four mouths. On the other hand, the Devi Savitri, with the beauty of 100 moons, born with great ease, wearing apparel purified by fire and decorated with various ornaments, praised Krishna, the one and only cause of the universe, and then took her seat gladly with her husband in the throne made of jewels. At that time, Krishna divided himself into two parts. His left side turned into the form of Mahadeva, and his right side turned into the Lord of Gopikas, cowherdesses. The color and splendor of the body of Mahadeva is pure white, like white crystal, as if 100 suns have arisen simultaneously in his hands. There are the trident, trishul, and sharp-edged spear, Patissa. He is wearing a tiger skin. On his head is matted here, jata, of a tawny hue like molten gold. His body was besmeared all over with ash, smile reigning in his face, and on his forehead the semi-moon. He has no clothing on his loins. He is called Digambara, the quarters of the sky being his clothing. His neck is of blue color, the serpent being the ornaments on his body, and on his right hand the nice bead of jewels well purified. Who is always repeating with his 5 faces the eternal light of Brahma, and who has conquered death by praising Shri Krishna, who is of the nature of truth, the highest self, the God incarnate, the material cause of all things, and the all-auspicious of all that is good and favorable, and the destroyer of the fear of birth, death, old age, and disease, and who has been named Mrityunjaya, the conqueror of death. This Mahadeva took his seat on a throne made of jewels, diamonds, emeralds, etc. Here ends the second chapter on the 9th book on the origin of Prakriti and Purusa in the Maha Puranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapali. Om Tua Mata Chapita.